Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hi dear first year medical students, we will talk today about the second lecture in medical terminology. What do you mean by medical terminology? As we said before, it is an important subject as it is the basic words used in medicine. You have to know it. So, word structure rule, first of all, a prefix. Prefix is always placed at the beginning of the word. Suffix always placed at the end of the word. So this is the prefix and this is the suffix. Here at the end, in the beginning, and this is in the end. So the word reaction, this is the root part, as we said, or the base act. ION, on, is suffix. Re is the prefix. And we have the use of more than one word root in a word. They create the need for combining vowels. So when we use two word roots, we have to use a combining vowel between to connect the roots. So a compound word that usually compose in the following orders. Here we have the prefix, word root, and the suffix. Now, rules for defining a medical word. Rule number 1. The definition of a medical word usually begins with defining the suffix first and continuing to read backward through the word as you define it. For example, enteritis. Itis means inflammation. So we start with itis. And then we have to return backward and see what we are going to talk about. So enter means the small intestine. Enteritis means there is inflammation in the intestine. Rule number 2. What do you mean by, we will talk here when a medical word has a prefix, the definition of the word usually begins with definition of suffix first and the prefix second and the root last. For example, we have pericarditis. Pericarditis. We have to start here with the suffix. Suffix here, what do we said? Itis means there is infection or inflammation. And then prefix, peri. Peri. This is the prefix. Second need to be defined. Itis infection, peri means outer part, and lastly the word root, the basic part, which is the card. Card means the heart. So there is pericarditis. Pericarditis means there is infection involving the outer side of the heart. Infection involves the outer part of the heart. Rule number 3. Here we have when a medical word identifies body system or parts. The definition of the word usually begins with defining the suffix first, then defining the organ and the order in which they are studied in a particular body system. For example, hepatosplenomegaly or hepatomegaly. So we have first suffix, megaly. This is the last part of the word, but it is the first part to be studied. What do you mean by megaly? Means there is enlargement. And then we have to go to the organ involved. Maybe hepatosplenomegaly, which means both the liver and the spleen is enlarged. Or maybe just hepatomegaly, which means only the liver is enlarged. Or splenomegaly, that's only the spleen is enlarged. When we said hepatosplenomegaly, there is enlargement of both liver and spleen as in this picture. This is normal liver and here enlarged liver. Okay, and the rule number 4. These are rules for plural words. Plural words when a singular form of word end in a. A singular word or form of the word ended with a. It will be changed from a to ae. For example, axilla, axilli. Axilla, this is the axilla, this is the armpit part. Axilla is a pyramidal shape space forming the underside of the shoulder. So this is the axilla. If it is one, we call it axilla. A plural, plenty of axillae, we call it axillae, not axilla. This is the plural words. Number 2, rule number 2. If the word ends with ax, it will be changed from ax to aces. Like thorax, it will be thoraces. Thorax, it ends with x, so it will be changed to thoraces. Thorax is the upper part of the trunk that contains the rib cage, lungs, and some of the abdomen. So this is the thorax. Only if it is only one, we call it thorax. If many of thorax involved, so there is thoraces. And we have the rule number 3. If the word end is s, change from is. If it is, change from is to is. For example, metastasis, it will change to metastases. And here we have metastasis in the liver. This is a type of malignancy that spread in the liver, and these are the metastases. So if it is single, we call it metastasis. Metastasis to the liver, only in one place. But if it is distributed throughout the liver or other organ, we call metastases. When a tumor cell moves from the primary location and establish to a remote location, we call it metastasis. Now rule number 4, when the word is end with ix or ex or yx, it will be changed to ix, ex or yx to isis. So there is isis, like cortex, cortices. Cortex is the outer layer of an organ. This is the cortex. We have cerebral cortex of the brain. And also we have rule number 5. When the word ends in on, it will be changed on to a. Like ganglion, it will be changed to ganglia, which is a knot, like mass of the nervous tissue. So this is a ganglia. It is a knot, like mass in the nervous tissue. If it is multiple, if it is one, it is ganglion. But if it is multiple, we call it the ganglia. Rule number 6. If the word ends with it will be changed from to a. Like atrium will be atria. Atrium is a plural, is a single, while atria plural. A chamber or activity such as on the right and the left side of the heart. This is the atrium. This is the atrium. If it is one, it is atrium. If there are two or more, we call atria. And also we have rule number 7. When it ends, if the word ends with us, change us to I. Like thrombus, it will be thrombi. What do you mean by thrombi? There is aggregation of a platelet fibrin clotting factor known as a blood clot. So rule number 8, if the word ends with ma, change ma to mata. Like sarcoma, it will end to sarcomata. This is the singular, and here the plural pattern, which is a malignancy, malignant neoplasm of the soft tissue. This is the soft tissue sarcoma. Sarcoma, if it is one, we call it sarcoma. If it is multiple, we call sarcomata. So how we combine the vowel or these roots? The word root should be combined by using vowels. Just like in any language, there are rules regulating the use of vowels. The rule here pertain to the use of combining vowel between a word root and suffix. Like suffix begin with a vowel itis. If the suffix begin with the vowel, do not add a combining vowel. Like here, for example, in the word arthritis, arth means joint and itis means inflammation. Typically, to combine the two, we should use the combining vowel o, but because suffix itis begins with a vowel which is I, we would not use the o. We would just connect the two words together to form the word arthritis. So this is rule number 1. If the suffix as in itis begins with a vowel, so when we join two word root, there is no need to add a vowel between, like using O vowel. Number 2, also the suffix, if it is begin with a consonant like a scope, a consonant scope, if the suffix begin with a consonant, we would use a combining vowel, and we would typically use the combining vowel O. For example, in the word arthroscope, arth means the joint and the scope means examine. So since the suffix begins with a consonant, we would add the combining vowel O to connect the two parts together to come up with a arthroscope. So if there is a consonant, we have to add this vowel. We said we have arthroscope. Arthro means the joint, scope means the way to examine. Arthritis and arthroscope. How to compare? Arthritis, as we said here, itis, there is no need, there is a vowel, so no need to add O in between. While here we have to add O because there is a consonant. Okay, and now the use of combining vowels between the word root. We typically will use the combining vowel between two word roots even if the second word root begin with the vowel. The combining vowel is typically kept between two word roots. This is the case even if the second word root begins with a vowel. For example, gastroenteritis. It is not gastroenteritis, it is gastroenteritis. There are two vowel words, and in between we have to add the O, even if the beginning of the second or the suffix one with a vowel, because they are two word roots joined together. Now examples of combining words. And we have arthro means the joint. If we want to use additional part to the word, we have to say arthropathy. Nephro means the kidney, nephrology. And we have other terms, cardio, cardiomegaly, neuro, neurology, dermatology, ear, otoria, discharging ear. The small intestine is intro, so enterocolitis or enteritis. Pulmo means the lung, pulmonary. Gastro means stomach, gastroenteritis. Rhino, the nose, rhinorias. Hemato, blood, hematology and urine, urology. Thank you very much.